Should you retire early? Let's say you're 62 years old, you've been working fairly consistently since you're 18 years old, and now you're tired. You've reached the level of that you wanted to reach at work, and now you're just waiting 4 more years because conventional wisdom and all the experts tell you it's time. You should wait until you're 66 and a half or 67, whatever your year is, to get that full Social Security. Well, first off, I'm not a financial planner, so everything I'm going to talk about has little to do with statistical modeling or anything like that. I will tell you my story, but first, I want you to consider this. What's more important, saving a few more dollars or enjoying life while you can, while you're at your best physical condition you can be at 62 years old, because that matters. So what I want to talk about is, what does time mean for you? For me, time is sacred, and I'll tell you why. In my life, my family, they all passed away in the early to mid 70s. I'm currently 71 now. I took retirement at 63. I was going through, I'll tell you some backstory. I was going through a divorce, and I was living in an apartment. I'd given up the house, and I was working. I had a very good job that was paying me a really nice salary, and I had 401ks, and I had all of these things, and I had a lot to consider. Do I want to continue working? And, and I had like I said, I had a really good job, but I was tired of client deadlines. I was tired of meetings. I was tired of having to answer to this person, that person. I was done with it. I had been working since I'm 18 years old. Then I had my lifespan to consider. Now, no one really knows what their lifespan is, but if I had to look at mine at that time, I was thinking, okay, my parents passed early, my grandparents passed early. What is the likelihood that I'm going to live into my 90s or beyond? So that helped me, certainly helped me make a decision. So at 63, I did a break-even analysis with Social Security. If I took it at 63 as opposed to 66, which was my full retirement benefit time back then, my break-even, I think, would have been like, 78. Well, just that alone, think it's 78. Well, if my parents died before they were 75 or around 75, then I'll be leaving money on the table for those three years from 63 to 66. That was just a rough analysis I did. Again, I'm not a financial planner. So between Social Security money, and I'm a disabled veteran, so I get monthly compensation for that. And I had an annuity that was part of my 401k, and I was able to draw on that. So those three components gave me what I would hope would be enough on a monthly to cover any expenditure that I might have and lead me into my golden years and beyond, should I live that long. But that was the practical consideration. The other consideration that I mentioned, well, I was tired of being beholden to clients and deadlines and all of those things. And there was so much that I wanted to do, so much of the world I wanted to see, and I hadn't done it. I mean, I had done some traveling when I was married and with my kids, but here I am now. At that time, I was 63 and newly single, and now what do I do? It's a big world out there. I want to learn different things. So in the process, I was fortunate enough to meet a wonderful woman, and we dated, and we eventually got married, which is perfect. And we got to travel. We've been to Sicily, which is my ancestral homeland, and I got to go to the town of my grandfather's birth. And it was I got to fulfill a promise I made to him as a little boy that I would I would actually do that. And we've been to Hawaii a number of times, and we've been to Zion, different places, and we continue to travel and enjoy life. Now, I knew if I was short of cash, I can always get a part-time job. There are companies all over that are hiring, seniors. You go to Walmart and be a greeter, or Lowe's or Home Depot, or I can do consulting from what I did in the past if I chose to. I haven't. So I did some volunteer work, and I continue to do some volunteer work just to keep myself involved in things. Uh, that's basically my story. Now everybody has their own story and their own situation, their own financial. Uh, I didn't have a lot of debt, so that helped me. So everybody has their own financial story, their health story, and what they want from life. When I was working, I had a business partner who just retired. He's 80 years old. And when I told him that I was going to retire at 63, 7 years ago, he looked at me like, why are you doing that? You could just enjoy your life and collect a great paycheck and just go on and on. But that wasn't for me. It was for him. And that's great. And you know, he he just likes work. He loves the grind. He loved this the ability to solve problems, because that's a lot of what our work entailed. And he had he had people look up to him. We had a big staff, so I get that, you know. But for me, I was just done with it. It didn't. All that stuff didn't matter. What mattered more to me was the ability to do what I want, when I wanted, how I wanted to do it. Now, you have your own story. Now, whether or not you think working until 70 is for you, fantastic, do that. Whether you think working until, if you're concerned about the delta between retiring, taking Social Security at 62 and say 67, if you haven't taken it yet, whatever the full retirement age is now, I think it's 67, then do that. To me, but do a break-even analysis, and then you realize from 62 to 67, that's 5 years that you're leaving money on the table. You're leaving that money for 5 years on the table. It's going to take you a while for that catch-up. So do that analysis yourself. Check, everybody has their own financial situation. If you have a lot of debt, if you don't have a lot saved, whatever the case may be. The point is, retirement, if you can do it, and you're thinking about it, and you realize that, well, life is finite, time is precious, and there's a lot I want to see, then go for it. If you can, if your health, because here's the thing. In our 60s, we're still pretty much, hopefully, healthy and able to get around. They talk about go travel when you're traveling in your retirement years. In your 60s, you got the go travel. 70s, you got the slow travel, possibly. 80s, maybe no travel. So if you're going to work until you're 70, you're limiting, if travel is something you enjoy, of course, you're limiting that time of getting out and exploring the world, if that means something to you. For me, it does. Like I said, thank goodness, besides disabilities I have, I get around, and there's a lot I want to see, a lot I want to explore. There's countries I want to visit that I haven't, that are in my bucket list. Those things I want to do while I can do them, while I'm upright. So that matters to me. You have to think about that for yourself. It's not just the financial considerations. It's the financial considerations. It's what you like to do. It's how you see yourself. It's your health considerations and what you want, your family considerations as well. So there are many things. It's not just financial. So anyway, the question is early retirement for you? Well, the truth and the only answer to that is, Only you know. Only your situation is your situation. Nobody, no expert can tell you, well, the tables say that you should work until you're 67 or even 70 because lifespan increases and you'll live until you're 84. Well, nobody knows that. Nobody knows anything. Nobody knows your circumstance, your situation. For me, I had to look at a lot of factors. I had to look at longevity, based on my family history. I had to look at, my own disabilities, whether or not my body's going to carry me to do travel in my 70s or beyond. I had to look at my financial situation, what I needed on a monthly basis uh, to live a comfortable life. Those are considerations that you'll come up with. So for me, retiring early, I wouldn't change it for the world. I'm glad I did it. For me, it was a monumental, great decision. For you, you have to make that decision for yourself. So, wrapping up, let me know if you're thinking about retiring, if you've just retired, if you're concerned about, now I've retired, now what do I do? What do I do when I get up in the morning? How do I spend my day? And I get that. Those are concerns. When you had to be someplace, when you had to be at an office, when you had to be wherever you worked, you know, your day was scheduled for you. Well, now you got to self-schedule. You got to self-manage. You got to keep yourself somewhat busy, and you got to keep involved in whatever you like to do. So consider volunteering, or if you're totally afraid of getting out of the workforce, go part-time. Do something. The point is, do what's best for your situation, for your family. Enjoy your life. If you have any questions or thoughts, if you want to discuss this further, leave a comment. I'm curious as to, what your thoughts are on early retirement, or some people say, I'm going to work until the end. I'm never going to retire. And again, that's fine too. I'm just curious as to what you think about this. Anyway, let me know. Uh, Thank you for watching, and we will catch you on the next one. Take care now.